started. Let's go on and get started. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? How y'all doing tonight? Everybody good?
We're going to get started first. Because I'm doing
All
the
right,
same
look.
thing.
So look, we are back. We are back. Wealthy Thoughts, episode 22. Here with my regular host, Miss Sasha Spicer. How you doing, Sasha?
I'm good. No complaints. How about yourself?
Good. I'm doing good. And then we have our special guest today, Miss Portia Barnes of Lady P Productions. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good, good, good. I'm going to read Portia's I guess what you want to call it, bio. So I want to read it. It basically says, my desire to personalize gifts for friends and family led to the creation of Lady P Productions. Gifting became even more meaningful when I took the extra time and care to create something specifically for that special someone. Since the beginning, I've worked relentlessly to expand product options and offer the best client experience. I am very grateful for the growth and current success, and I am determined to continue providing high quality custom products and a positive experience for both repeat and new customers. So I am now going to be a repeat customer. I'm going to stand up and let you see the shirt that she made for me.
That looks so great. I don't know.
And everything. So I had been looking for a Detroit shirt to go with this Detroit hat and everything. So she made it. I met Miss Barnes at Detroit Sip, one of my good friends who owns Detroit Sip. She normally does different vendor programs at her spot, and this one was for Women's Week. I think that was Women's Month that she did that for, and so she had different women entrepreneurs come in with their businesses. I don't like to say small businesses because then we putting a limit on what that business is. So I like to say women entrepreneur businesses came in. It was several that was there. Lady P was one, and I bought something from her. And then I had this great idea of letting her come on the show and talk about what she does. So Lady P, tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do.
Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. And it was great meeting with you there at that event. And I love when I get custom orders because I like the collaborative experience that I get, where I get to tap into a little bit of the creativity of the customer and blend it with my own and, come up with a final product that they like and is truly custom to their vision. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
No problem.
So I started Lady P Productions in college as a passion project. And I was getting tons of compliments for my unique gifts that I was giving family and friends. And my mom actually encouraged me to maybe pursue it as more of a business because I had a unique point of view from it. And I just got tired of gift cards and blank, I love you, you love me cards. And it was like, that doesn't really truly reflect my feelings toward in this relationship. And so I began going down a reflection path of my family and friends. Like, okay, well, what makes this dynamic unique? What makes this person different in their own right? And then I would cater those gifts to that personality. So that's how my humble beginnings, but it really expanded during COVID.
Okay.
And word of mouth truly has been my blessing behind Lady P Productions and its sustained growth throughout the years. I was pregnant with my youngest during COVID. I think, ironically, we found out that I would have to go on bed rest the same week the world shut down.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like that Monday, my doctor was like, it's not going to work. You need to lay it on down. And by Friday, everybody was laying it on down. So it gave me an opportunity, to take my mind off of everything that was going on and just get back into my creative juices. And I started making products again. And I really was encouraged by my husband to say, why don't you just put it out there, put some feelers out there and see if actually people want to really invest in your vision and just see what happens. Why not? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. And word of mouth continued, of course, because nobody could go anywhere. But I started selling online. And then when the world opened back up, I started really getting into vendor events and being asked to go and be a vendor at organizations and things like that. And we've been rocking and rolling ever since. And so very, very grateful for repeat customers like you and new customers like you. I'm sure you've got something coming up that I can help you out with. But I love it. And I'm gonna keep pursuing this until I don't love it anymore, because I think it's my passion and my care that creates the products and brings that, that special something.
Great. And so tell us a little bit about your journey into making this a business, as far as like things you had to do, things that you had to put in place to make this a legitimate operation.
Yeah, sure. So business wise, you have to register your business. I mean, if you want it to really be identified as a business with the IRS. So you have to register your business, get your LLC and pay all of the wonderful fees that come along with registration and keep that sustained yearly so that you can be recognized as a legitimate business owner. And so I did all of that. Me and Google at the time, because AI was not that much of a thing when I first started. So me and Google worked our way to through all of the steps and getting ladypproductions trademarked and going through all of those steps. So I took care of that. And I also worked on branding, of course, gaining visibility to really get the name out there. And most importantly, I work very, very hard to create a quality product, whether it is apparel or the accessories or the gift, customized gift baskets, things like that. I really, my father taught me that, your name, it's got to mean something. Anything you put your name on, it needs to be reflective of who you are. So I work very hard to, again, that's in what you read earlier. That's why I focus very hard on the customer experience, because that's my name. Lady P is me. It's been me. It'll be me forever. And I want people to associate Lady P with quality, with good customer service, with a good experience. We've all had those companies when they bring it up and you're like, don't use them. No. That's okay. Yeah. Or that restaurant got the really good food, but crappy customer service. That.
Yeah. So I have to be totally honest. My mom name is Portia. So when you told me your name was Portia, that was another reason why I was like, oh, I gotta support my sister here. And and the funny thing is, she actually goes by Lady P at times as well. So,
oh my gosh.
So
hey cousin.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about was as far as getting your clientele up, what types of things are, as far as I know you said word of mouth, what other type of promotional things have you done to get your clientele up and get people to know about what you're doing?
So my my undergrad is in PR. It's in communications. I have a communications bachelor's. So I understood the value of interaction, that one-on-one interaction very early on. And I use that all the time. I am constantly talking to people in any industry that I'm in, whether I'm business, personal, church, my kids' school. Nothing beats it. I will do, I'll do the social media. I'll do the normal channels of outreach. I'll send the emails out. I'll look up businesses. I'll do the research. But I find that nothing beats going to people, talking to them face to face, explaining how I can be a benefit to them, or I can help alleviate whatever their pain point is regarding my unique product. And that interaction just seems to, it never fails. So the culmination of all of them, because I do get sales from online outreach. So I have an event coming up this weekend, and I'm doing all types of branding for visibility, promos, reels, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the channels. I even market on Eventbrite when I'm doing, custom events and things like that. But I am always going to go to the people. Oh, look at that. Ooh.
Well, since you brought it up, so I wanted to put that up and tell us about this event.
So this is our pre-Mother's Day shopping experience. Lady Productions, as you know, is myself, and I am partnered with the forgiveness coach herself, Sandra L. Cobb. We came together a couple of years ago through a shared love of women empowerment. Okay. And we put on our first event together two and a half years ago. And we wanted to truly embrace supporting one another. We specifically, our women at that period of time, we both had stories of our own personal stories and stories of friends and family of women who had been overlooked, who were not getting the same opportunities as other people. And so we just wanted to take a moment and say, you know what, we can't change everything and make everything equal, but we can do one thing that we're good at. We can come together and show, not just in word, but in deed, that we can help lift and support our fellow women, our fellow entrepreneurs specifically. And we put on our initial event, and it was a wonderful success. Good turnout, but more importantly, we stumbled upon something really powerful. And these were strangers. These weren't all people that we knew. These weren't all entrepreneurs that we knew. We put the ask out there, and we got great feedback, and we got some great vendors we had never met, and we worked with them. And the experience was just wonderful. And so we got back together this year and said, well, I think we should do it again. And
okay, so this is the second year?
This is our second year.
Okay, great.
And it has turned into something amazing. I've got 15 wonderful women-owned businesses that are coming together. We've got an interactive hustle experience. People are gonna get their hustle on. Not me, because I don't like that Tamia line dance. But other than that, I'm gonna get out there, get on that floor. And we have an amazing food vendor, also female owned, that's coming out there to give us some good eats. So it's a vibe. It's not just coming to shopping is wonderful and supporting other businesses. I'm going to use your term. I'm not going to do small businesses because I'm not putting a cap on anybody's success. So other businesses like my own. And we also, one of the great things we thought about is featuring our young lady bosses. I think the sooner we learn.
I was going to ask you about that. What is the young lady bosses? What is that about?
Yes. So young lady bosses is our young females ages 9 through 13 that have cultivated their own business. Okay. And we gave them an opportunity to showcase their work and to just gain some confidence in a safe space of other entrepreneurs. So they see people that look like them that are still doing it. And we have them covered. We have them surrounded. We're going to love on them. And we're just going to support and promote that entrepreneurial spirit, that go-get spirit, that you can do it, girl. You got this. And so I'm very excited to have them join this experience that we're having on Saturday. It is from 10 to 3. It is at Durfee Innovation Center in Detroit. And it's going to be a vibe. So if you're in town, if you're in the area, please stop by and support these women-owned businesses. And it's all local. So we're giving back into Detroit. We're repping Detroit all day, every day.
Great. 2470 Collingwood Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48206, April the 25th, 10 to 3. And you said at Durfee, old Durfee, was that an elementary school at one point?
It is still. Yep, it's still an elementary school right now.
Still an elementary school. Okay. So at Durfee Elementary, right around the corner from Central High School.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So what used to be Central is now Durfee.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But the elementary school is still there. Yeah. So it's gonna be a great time. And I have new products because it is a Mother's Day shopping experience. So I've got some new mom products and gifts. We've got just a variety of different vendors. So it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be
so now talk to me about, because I know that you have a outside of your business, you have a what else do you do?
So I also am the founder and principal consultant for the Workplace Reset Consulting Group. So that's my day job.
Is that I remember you saying you were going on a conference. Is that where you were going on a conference with?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll be in New Orleans next week, where I will be speaking, facilitating 2 sessions there at the conference. It's Society of Industrial and Organizational Psychology, and it's their annual conference. So I'm very excited. It's my first time presenting at this particular conference, and it's going to be a great time.
Okay, great. And what kind of, tell me the conference again one more time. Yeah.
So it's called SIOP. It's Society of Industrial Organizational Psychology.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And so you are not in psychology, but you are.
I am.
You are. Okay.
So, yes. So I am an IO psychologist, which is industrial organizational
psychologist. But when you said you were, I remember earlier you said you went to college for.
My undergrad is in PR.
In PR. That's right. Okay. Where did you go to college?
Wayne State.
Wayne State.
Yes.
Wayne State. Okay. I went to Wayne State for a hot second. Yeah. When I was out there doing stuff that I had no business doing and not finishing school. So, so I went to
that Wayne State.
I will be in New Orleans not next week, but the first week of June. So I have a program that I'm going to down there. So yeah, that's what made me. I wanted to say something about that also because you said that you were going there, and I wanted to make sure that I talked about that too, just in case somebody might be in New Orleans and want to see you there.
Yes, please do that. I actually made so last year, really, really fast. It was my first year attending the conference. And, like I said, I've been doing ladypproductions since college. So you go get a t-shirt. Okay. Whatever we're doing is going to be a t-shirt involved at least.
Gotcha.
And so I was gearing up for the conference, and I'm like, oh, I had just graduated with my master's around that same time last year.
Okay.
And so I'm like, yes, I'm legit now. I got the degree and all of that. And so let me rep it. So I go online, I'm on Google, I'm on Etsy, and I'm looking, and it's nothing. When I say nothing, I could not find anything about IO psychology online. And I was like, easy fix. Say less. I grabbed 3 different designs and I throw them in a suitcase. And so I'm wearing them at the conference. And normally I'm business all the time, like never far from my mind. But in this particular setting, I was really just trying to soak up the knowledge and everything that I was getting. But I kept getting stopped to ask about my shirt.
Okay.
And they're like, I've never seen that before. Where did you get it? So I wasn't properly prepared like I should have been, because I was trying to be a student. But this year is like, you ain't gonna catch me slipping twice. Okay.
So this year you're actually speaking though. You're not just a student this year. You're actually speaking. Okay. And so tell us a little bit about that. Bridging the work, the 2 businesses, being able to put it all together. Be a wife, be a mother, and all the other great things that you do as a woman.
Yes. So essentially, I'm a superhero. It's okay to share the identity here right now. It's fine. But in reality, this is truly, I don't know if you can see my shirt here, but this is one of my custom designs. This is what I do. This is how I get everything done. I'm just out here trusting God. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. This blend happened, like I said, very organically, blending Lady P Productions and Workplace Reset, because I went again for professional development and things like that last year. And I just happened to be repping my designs. And so this year I was able to blend it. So I actually created 4 different designs specifically for the conference, and have been able to sell those designs and gain visibility for the industry, for the field that I love so dearly. And I think I'm a really big advocate for visibility. So I'm always going to show what I believe, what my values are in some form or fashion, whether it's a shirt or a hat or a bracelet or, whatever. So the blend, to answer your question, was very organic, and I'm just out trusting God. He's been making things happen for me, which I'm very, very grateful for.
I got you. Now tell us some of the setbacks that you may have had in business, if there's been any. If there isn't, then I understand. But if there has been some, tell us about the setbacks. Any setbacks that have been?
Yes. Thousands of them. I mean, I don't know if we have enough time in the show for the setbacks.
Let's talk about a few that you grew from, that you learned from, that you would like to share, that that could help another entrepreneur, maybe not go through that.
Okay. Failing is not a failure. Okay. Amen. Failing is not a failure. And the best lessons I've learned has been falling and failing on my face. Whether it's as simple as a t-shirt design that in my head was perfection and never made $1 off of it because nobody else saw the vision. So, wasted product, is what you can see that as initially. But failure is not the end story. That's not the end of it. And I'm very grateful that I finally learned that lesson, but it took me some years to really understand that. So if you can get that a little bit faster, and it's crazy now because my 10-year-old is one of the young entrepreneurs for the event.
Okay, great.
She paints, she does artwork. She's
really, you have any right there on hand to show?
I do. Listen, Mama gonna keep an example.
Yeah, I saw you look behind you, so I just wanted to know.
And so she made this little piece here, which I stole because it said, "I love you, Mom," and I assumed that she made it for me, but she was making it for Mother's Day, as somebody could give it to a gift. So I stole it. But anyway, neither here nor there. But she's very driven like me, and I know that, and I saw that very, very early on. But I'm trying to teach her this one lesson right now about failing is not the end. That's not the end of that story. And so there are times during this process, right? She's been making her art, drawing, trying, and she'll show it to me, and she'll tell me the honest opinion. And I'll say, what is this supposed to be? And before I get critique, I need to know what your vision was. And so I'll give my honest critique. I'm not a big fan of lying to children that much. So especially if we're trying to create real, true entrepreneurs, which is what I'm trying to do. So anyway, so I'll give her my critique, and she is so hard on herself that she will well, I just wasted it. And, she just goes down this path. And I'm like, no, sweetie, what did we learn from this? It might not be the one that we can sell, but what did you learn? You figured out that you can draw this, but maybe need to work a little bit more on this side. You figured out that this is the space that you have, but you don't really need that much space. So maybe we need to change the canvas size, right? So it's perspective. It's all about viewing that situation and what can you take from it to learn and grow and better yourself. that is something that I constantly try to do for myself. And I've showed her, like, I have thrown away so much product. Over the years, I have done promotions that I thought were fantastic. Me and Canva have made beautiful art together, and nobody liked it. These are what you would think would be considered failures. But in reality, it's just growth and development. I'm just developing my craft. I'm just learning more about me. I'm learning more about my capacity, things like that. So I think that's very important, especially as an entrepreneur. One of my favorite quotes from Erykah Badu is, I'm an artist, right? So I'm sensitive about,
Yeah.
And it's easy it's just easier to view a negative of a situation in anything. It is. It's just easier to do that. It takes work to dig a little bit deeper and find a positive, find a takeaway that will help in your growth and development. That would be the biggest thing that I would tell anybody that's starting out or continuing or even sees it, right? It's never too late to shift a perspective and make everything a lesson.
Okay.
Absolutely. I remember hearing somebody say fail stands for first attempt in learning. And I take that with me, even if it's the second or third attempt, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to attempt it though. But I do agree, or I can kind of empathize with your 10-year-old, because when you do have that perfectionist personality, sometimes you forget about all of that. And that you might fail, but you don't expect to. So sometimes I think that throwing you off is like what you have to kind of get back to. Like, you have to kind of get out your feelings, like you said, get out your expectations, because even when you said you and Canva created some beautiful work that nobody else liked, in my mind, I'm like, no, it just didn't get to the right people. It was still perfection, right? So, just kind of get to those things that kind of help you move forward and not get so stuck on what you thought it was going to be, especially when you do believe in yourself.
Very well put. I could not agree more. And you saying that reminded me of timing, because you're absolutely right. That one piece, that one reel, that one graphic that I put out there and nobody liked. Do you know how many people go viral now for something that they did 6 years ago, things that they did 3 years ago, that they have long forgotten about, and somebody done brought it up, and all of a sudden you're an overnight sensation. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. You have to be confident, like you said, confident in you, continue to grow yourself, continue to be a lifelong learner of whatever it is that you're passionate about. Whatever it is that drives you, that motivates you and wakes you up in the morning, and all in divine timing.
Exactly. That's the challenge.
Right? And please, as I'm saying it to you, I'm saying it to myself. Okay.
Right. That's how it is, because you think like, I've been doing this. This seems like the perfect time that this should happen, and you're expecting it to happen right now, and it feels perfect from your perspective. But then it's like, you know what, like, God's timing isn't necessarily my timing. You'll sometimes feel like you heard the message from him. I know for me, I like to see signs all over the place. And so it's like, but it looked like this, but yeah, anyways, I get it 100%.
You know what?
But put your content on TikTok now. It's good.
It's like, if this light turned green, that means it's time for me to go.
Exactly. Mine is crazy, and somebody called it. They actually have like a scientific term for it. Oh my gosh, you probably know those since you're in psychology. But it's like when you're like, so for instance, maybe I'm speeding because I like to drive fast. It's just my thing, right? And I like to be in the fast lane because there's no need for me to get over in those other lanes because I'm going to go fast. But when somebody gets in front of me going slow, I'm like, you know what? I guess I need to drive the speed limit. Maybe they're saving me from getting a ticket. Like you have to kind of like think about those things all the time.
My husband says that all the time, and I hate it. Don't try to tell me why this person is being stupid right now in front of me. They need to get out of the way. However, timing, because you never know what that moment of pause saved you from. Like you have no idea what could have happened had you kept going at that speed that you were. And same for this, you know, that for her, I say, you know, maybe the second round of art will spark something else. I did this the first time, but you know what? I kind of like this direction now. And then you've now just created a masterpiece. And that was just the seed that you needed. That was the seed that was in you to do something again. So failure cannot be the last. It can't be the final page of your book. It's just not. It's too much potential in it to grow from.
Exactly. And you only fail when you stop trying, truthfully. Like once you give up. Because, well, I don't want to quote my person, but you know, hey, get knocked down 9 times, stand up 10. Like one time is going to stick. You just have to stick with it if you know that that's what you're supposed to do. Exactly.
It only takes.
Yeah, I always like the saying, I don't lose, I learn.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah, that's fortitude. And that's, it's very easy to say it. But let's be honest, you know, in those moments where if you like, I struck out on my own. I left an industry that I was in 15 years and went full time into consultant work. That's scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's scary to bet on yourself. It's scary it's great to have the expectation that you believe in yourself enough to produce quality items or quality, you know, work. But it's scary to bet on other people to see it as well.
Absolutely. Because that's the trick. Because you know you're confident, but now you have to convince other people or wait for other people to come find you. And I kind of have a similar situation. So when you're used to that guaranteed steady income, but you're not happy, and then you go into something you believe in, knowing it's your purpose, it does get a little shaky sometimes because of what you're used to. You're used to the stability that now you're just really all out here on faith. And sometimes you kind of forget that. Especially in the to-do list, you know, you forget like, hold up, you know, I don't need to worry as much. You know, I need to be more in tune with actually, I mean, I always joke with Randy about this, but sometimes I need to be in tune with my higher power. Is that better for you, Randy? Let me stop. Let me stop.
You funny.
You know it.
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, fortitude, that drive, that voice. You have to train that voice in you. You know, that's exactly. It's challenging in those trying times, in those late hours, in those, you know, full-time entrepreneurship is not for the weak. Okay, let's talk about it. It is not for the weak whatsoever. And you tend to start thinking, maybe I need to go back and get this 9 to 5 because I'm working more. Okay. Now my daughters will say, like, you're still on the computer. It's 10, it's 11.
It never ends.
It doesn't end. It doesn't end. And that's where you have to train that voice or more. You know, I'm not judging your inner voices. It could be 2 or 3. But you have to train those voices to say the things that you know are true. If this is your drive, if this is the thing you are meant to do, then you have to train those voices, just like you train your kids their bedtime routine, just like you train, you know, if you're a teacher, you train the students on the lesson that you want them to learn. You have to train your mind to speak to you the things that you know are true about yourself. I will succeed. That's the voice you should be hearing. I will prosper. I will overcome this. I will be resilient. I will. And eventually your mind is a muscle. The more you train it, the more the repetition, right? Repetition breeds results. So
that's right.
Yeah.
You have to train your mind to do that because there are going to be those moments where you creep in and it's like, child.
Yeah. Right. It's that human nature.
It is.
And I feel like also sometimes you're going to feel opposition when you're closest to what you're trying to accomplish too. And like you said, you have to train your voice and you have to kind of, I guess, get in tune with that motivation that you need, because I know for me, I kind of experienced something similar last year, and I just caught myself checking out. I'm like, look, I'm chilling right now. Like, this is just too much. I don't know what I want to do. Like, I don't know about this and that. And at the end of the day, when I realized I was in it too long, I had to go back and do the thing that I was avoiding the whole time anyway. So it's just like, so if you can train your muscle to do that beforehand, you can save yourself a lot of time and wasted money. So
maybe not wasted money, but just very expensive lesson.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Maybe
I'm about to have to go into my savings. Let me get my stuff together. Like, but it would have been great had I did that like 3 months before, right? But like,
well, Sasha, you being an accountant, then you know that those expensive lessons you can write them off.
Right. That's what I'm. Well, that's true, and I used to tell people that all the time. But at the end of the day, it's not a dollar for dollar reduction in your taxes. So hey, no, it's not. I don't be feeling that no more. Like in the beginning, it's a business expense. It's a business expense. Like now, it's like no, I still owe this much money in taxes. So no, that's not the goal.
I started to send you my taxes. I was like, I owe too much money. Hold on, I need a second opinion.
Well, okay. You just need a second opinion.
I knew you was busy. I knew you was busy. I didn't bother.
It's not even that. So it's so funny. I talked about last year, but this year I'm realizing like it's a lot of stuff I don't want to do. Like when you have a lot of different skills, you're like, hold up, I don't have to do everything. I might be a resource and share the information I have, but when somebody comes to me, I think I need to have a tax accountant to refer them to, because I've already figured out who I want to work with, and I don't know a lot of them. Okay. So I'm like, I need somebody for the people that I know that can go deal with. And I hate to say foolishness because I don't want to talk about nobody. But look, if you're not keeping your records, you don't have receipts, you just making up stuff, you ain't tracking mileage, you're not my client. Okay. I need to so the way that I've like because like I said, I went through some things. The way I've decided the nice way to phrase it is I work with small business owners who truly want to grow their business. Because in my mind, there's no way that you truly want to grow your business if you don't know your numbers. If you don't know how much money you're bringing in, you don't know what you're spending money on, there's no way that you can either increase your income or reduce your expenses. You're just head in the sand, not wanting to do any of that. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but like when you talk about them taxes, no, that's not for me no more.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Yes. I have a similar.
Lady P, I wanted to ask you, as far as like,
hold on, she was saying something real quick. Randy, what were we saying, Lady P?
Oh, I was saying that I have a similar experience with my consulting company, because when companies, organizations, small businesses reach out to me and they say they have a particular problem they want me to address within their organization, more times than not, it's not the initial problem that they're letting me know, right? It's a symptom, not a root cause of what is going on in their industry. And I do have, you have to do assessments to identify what the root cause actually is going to be. And a lot of times the questions that one might think are very basic, like, you're an accountant, you're asking me for my services and you don't know your numbers, right? That's kind of the very first question, right? So for me, my question is, well, what is the root cause of this? This is the symptom that you're finding issue with, but do you know what the root cause is? What is the pulse? What is the real culture of the organization? Those type of things. And a lot of times leaders don't really know those answers. Yeah. And so that's what we have to dive into so that we can truly change or create the environment that is susceptible for the changes that are needed in the organization. So it's a lot of the same things. Mine is a little bit deeper. I'm not going to turn you away, but I'm going to help you find those answers so that you can know if I really do want this change or if I'm really just looking for a Band-Aid. That's mine. If you're looking just for a Band-Aid, another training, then you might not be my client.
Right. No, that makes sense. And I like that you shared the psychological aspect behind it, because with me not having that type of background, the reason why I came to my decision was because I realized that a lot of people are like myself and they just cannot do the corporate 9 to 5. It's miserable. You don't feel like you're in your purpose. You don't feel valued, etc. And I appreciate the fact that they decided to believe in themselves and to start a business to have that flexibility to be in control of their own earning potential. But I feel like the people that have been like coming to me, because I actually haven't even been doing content. So these are people that are referred to me through other people. And then I realized that it's like, oh, you actually have a business, but you don't realize you have a business. You're just out here making money and having freedom. But you, like, you know, when I ask you, like, I mean, I don't want to get in specific because I don't want to like give anybody examples, but you know, when you're like, hey, I spent this much last year on this. And then I look at the statement and it's like, no, that's a portion of what you paid. Some of it was insurance, some of it was support fee, some of it was for some loans that you purchased or whatever. So it's just like, and then, you know, I asked for certain information and they're like, well, what if I say this? And what if I say that? It's nothing you can, it's no what if for 2025. 2025 is done. Like that's when you could do some tax planning for 2026. But that's when I'm like, you know what? I think that I also, as much as I hate corporate, I have to admit recently, I feel like I'm so used to that I'm used to people that like, or I need people that are going to be serious. Like, even if you haven't been doing it, it's fine. But I don't need you complaining about it. If I ask you for a statement or if I say you need to start tracking your mileage, just do it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's my thing, where if I send you an email, don't call me. Just reply to the email. You know what I'm saying? If I send you, like you said, your assessment, if I send you a task questionnaire, fill it out. Don't say, oh, it was too much. I didn't want to fill that out. It's just basic. Yeah. And then you find out they got more stuff going on and you done underbid, you know? So, cause I looked at the last year return but now you got different stuff going on this year. So look, I don't mean to like rant, but I'm glad that you gave your perspective, because I'm realizing that it's more than what I'm looking at, is just as far as, hey, you want to be an entrepreneur and you just stopped at that, instead of really looking at it like as a business, instead of like, there is a psychology behind it. There's a reason why you're not doing this, or why you don't want to get organized, or why you don't even think this is important. You don't see the value in it. You just doing this because you know that you have to file a tax return. So here you go. Here's my receipts. And I'm not doing that either. Add them up. You know, like I'm not about to go through a year's worth of receipts, you know? So again, I think mine's just a little bit different because I also do real estate and, you know, loans. So like mortgage loans. So I think because I have moved out the corporate world and when I was in corporate, I was doing strictly accounting. It's more like, why are you doing this again? Because you could make out better. Like you said, should I go back to corporate and just have one person that I'm working for and getting a salary and some benefits? Like, yeah, this is kind of about to drive me crazy. So, but I'm going to try to tap into what you said with the psychology behind it.
It's really not that different, because your stakeholder is the client, right? Mm-hmm. And so for me, an assessment would be stakeholder readiness. You tell me what you want. Cool, we have a goal. That's wonderful. Are you ready to do what it takes to obtain that goal? Is the environment conducive for the change that you are looking to make? And so for you and your client, is that person, is that entrepreneur. If your mindset is not ready to absorb the changes that are needed, the different ways in which you start tracking and accounting for your income, then there are a couple of steps that maybe you need to take before we get to this conversation. And so maybe that's something that you can, or, you know, you can talk to me about it and we can maybe get you an assessment, a readiness assessment for your client. And that's how you can begin weeding out the clients that say that.
Lady P.
And the ones that say that.
You better provide. Okay. Like a solution in like 30 seconds of hearing my pain points.
We started this off with t-shirts and stuff. Now when they got into the psychology of business.
Well, hey.
I told you.
I have a question for you since we've gone that route. What made you get into that consultant, the psychology consulting business?
So again, my background is in real estate property management, and I did that right out of college. I got my PR degree and then went into real estate. Yep, that's happened. Oh, wow. But the last maybe 5 or 6 years have been very challenging in the industry. It has an insanely high turnover rate. And it was affecting me tremendously as middle management because I was losing quality employees. And so the number one, I did not have the language to properly translate to owners, to ownership, to board of directors, or whatever power that be, why I was so frustrated. I understood that the process was broken. It wasn't working. Okay. But I didn't believe that I was being taken seriously enough because I did not know the proper language to translate that into the language that they spoke. And the language, of course, at the end of the day, for any business is money. How is this going to affect my bottom line? And even though it absolutely affects your bottom line, if we can't translate what we know into the language that they're speaking, it's not going to make any difference. That's what started my path down. How do I get this language? What is it that I am trying to do? Because I'm trying to save quality employees. I'm trying to create more healthy employee experiences. That was my problem. And I kept running into the same wall of I can only do so much. They only give me so much to do. So I'm doing everything I can in my power at my level, but I'm still losing people because at the top, they don't have the same desires that I do. We're not having the same conversation. Okay. So I went down the path and I ended up finding IO psychology. Very happenstance. I was just researching master's programs. I thought I was going to go and get my MBA so that I can go down that path and have different conversations with ownership. I ended up getting IO psychology. I found it, the particular program that I went through was with North Central University out in California.
Okay.
And I saw the curriculum online and I was like, I'm not kidding. I could not have been a bigger nerd. I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I want. They give you examples of the different courses and how, like, with the goals that the takeaways you're going to get if you go down this route. And like, this is it. Like, I'm talking to my husband, like, this is it. This is what I want to do. My very first class changed my life. I was hooked.
Wow.
I was absolutely hooked. I said, I'm home. This is what I'm here to do.
Good.
And my entire master's program was that feeling.
It's always good to find something that you love.
It was that feeling. And I finally found language to begin making real change in the workplace. And so now I have, the actual real life experience. Again, I've got 15 years on my belt of leadership experience. And now I have the workplace psychology at my disposal as well to blend the two, right? So you can better understand how humans are acting, why they're behaving the way they're behaving, why you're getting the symptoms that you're getting as a leader, as an owner, and how you find the root problem so that you can change and create better workplace structure. That's what I do.
Great.
That's powerful.
Okay. Great. That's I had never really heard of what you do before, so I once you start getting into it, I didn't expect us to go down this route because I didn't know that's exactly what you did. Which is again another entrepreneurial side of you, right? So tell us how would if I wanted to tell somebody about that part of your business, tell us how we do that, how we get in contact with that.
So you can absolutely reach me on LinkedIn under my name, Portia Barnes. I'm there. I actually have an Instagram IG for that as well. It is the Workplace Reset. The IG for that as well. And or you can, hit me up on ladypproductions on any of those platforms and say, hey, I saw you on the podcast, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the business, my business. I personally love, my favorite client right now is the entrepreneur, the business owner. I'm so used to saying small business owner, but I'm not even trying to change language now after this because already.
Well, no, and I don't try to be deep, but we do a lot of, I'm doing this little thing over here. I'm doing this little thing over here. And a lot of times we, just the words we speak and just limit. We don't even realize how we limited ourselves by saying this little thing over here. I'm doing this little thing. I'm doing this little thing. And I know when they say small business, I know what they mean. They mean they're talking about the number of employees and stuff like that. But also
it's actually revenue. If your revenue was less than 10 million, just the little account,
Okay, so we're talking about the revenue, and so since they're talking about the revenue, I always thought it was the employees. My bad. So they're talking about the revenue, and still at the end of the day, we don't want to limit ourselves. It could be over 10 million. We could be getting to the point where we're over 10 million.
Scale.
So you have a business. You have a business. It makes less than 10 million. That's fine, but it's not small.
We're going for over 10.
We're going for over 10. And regardless, if it makes $200,000, if it makes $100,000, if it makes $50,000, that's something that's coming to your household, bringing money to your household so your kids, your family can eat, do whatever it has to do. So that's not small to you. That's important to you. So I just, that's where my mind frame is like, let's stop saying small business. Let's just say this is a business and everything. I know when we go get an SBA loan, we have to call it small business. You do what you got to do when you in Rome, you do as the Romans do. But when you're on your own, I just, for me, I don't want to call my business a small business. I want to call it what I want it to be, which is a large business. I want to branch out into many things. So,
okay, this is my squirrel brain. I just got a quick question. Have either one of you ever referred to your business as a small business?
Yes.
I have.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I say small business owner because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of where I've come from and what I've grown this into. And it's so crazy, Randy, that the aha moment came from this conversation because I am extremely intentional about what I speak, especially over myself, my family, and how I did not have this aha moment prior to this conversation is crazy to me. But I absolutely received that perspective, and I agree. And I do not want to limit myself, and I do not want to limit those around me that also are pursuing their goals and dreams. So again, as you've seen, I've been trying to catch myself and change the language.
It's all good. Like I said, I didn't say it to convict anybody or anything like that. It was more about
let the Lord use you. Okay.
Yeah, it's just really more about me, because to be honest with you, as I was getting ready for this, that came, over the last couple of weeks, that came in my head, like, why do we call these things small businesses? And so for me, I've even just changed it in the last few weeks, where it's like, okay, no, I'm not calling this a small business. This is a business. It's entrepreneurial venture, anything besides small business. And so, that's just where I was at in my head. I'm also a believer that, God meets you where you at. So if that's where you at small business right there, he could change your mind eventually and get you to where it's big business. I'm not into, I know people grand rising, good morning, different stuff like that. So I believe God meets you where you at. If it's good morning, he know what you mean. He know you ain't talking about morning somebody's day or we're talking about
we're going
good
there.
morning. So I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to dog anybody that does what they do. I'm just saying that, I believe God meets you where you at too. So with that being said, Lady P, I want you to tell us again, go through all of your ventures and tell us how to get in contact with you, what you have going on. I'm going to put your gonna put that back on the screen real quick.
Okay.
And go ahead. Tell us what you got going on.
Yes. So Lady P Productions is hosting a pre-Mother's Day shopping experience this Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are going to be shopping. We're going to get some hustles in. We're going to eat some great food. A time will be had. Okay. It is going to be at Durfee Innovation Center, which is in Detroit, Michigan. And I have amazing women-owned vendors that have come and participating in this experience. We are coming to shop, to support, and to empower each other. So please stop by, check us out, bring your friend, tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? And come out and let's shop local, let's shop smart, and let's make some impact here in the lives of these business entrepreneurs. So anything else regarding Lady P Productions, if you need any customization done, I do this year round. It is very much a true passion of mine. And you can, I hope Randy can vouch for me. I do take the customer experience very seriously, and I will work with you. I want you to have a great experience and get the vision out of your mind and onto the product that you are looking for. So feel free to reach out to me. I am Lady P Productions on all platforms. If you need business conversations, if you need a little bit of workplace psychology, then you can also reach me on LinkedIn under my name, Portia Barnes. And you can also find me on Instagram under Workplace Reset.
Great. I really thank you for coming on. Sasha, tell us what you got going on.
I'll tell y'all later. I'm just at Spice Realty.
Okay, great. Before, since you're gonna tell us later on, how did the tax season end for you? How was it and everything? We took a little break so that you can do your taxes and do all your business taxes and stuff.
Is that what I was supposed to be doing?
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was happy you took that break because I needed to do mine too. So I needed to get all my stuff done too. So I was happy you took that break because I was like, man, I need to take care of some stuff too. But what you got going on? Tell me something.
It's funny. I always joke with him about putting me on the spot, but I mean, I guess I should know by now that I need to be ready. But pretty much right now, my focus, now that the tax season is over, like I said, I really want to work with small business owners that are looking to either grow their business or their personal finances. Because we do know I am a realtor, I am a loan officer, and with my tax background, even though I don't want to do your taxes for you, I can help you plan how you can position yourself for any type of investments where you're trying to look for loans, those types of things, and real estate, either if you're looking just as a personal residence, but I would love to help people that are looking to actually invest in real estate in order to have some type of income. Or passive income. It's not all that passive, but that's pretty much where my focus is, mainly with self-employed individuals and business owners. But I'll help anybody that needs help if you're truly, truly interested in change. But
Got it. And as far as me, still doing the real estate and everything like that. I am in the process of working on another project. Let me see. I'm trying to find the project now, but in the process of working on a different project that I'm a creative project that I think me and you talked about is real Spicer, Miss Spicer. I think me and you talked about this project, but let me see if I can share the screen. And still, I'm learning a lot doing this, right? But I'm working on this animated project. It is called Assembly Required, and it's about these 4 gentlemen here living in Detroit, Michigan, and just giving a man's perspective from different age groups of Black men living in the city of Detroit, going through life. So I'm working on it. I'm learning a lot doing this. it's funny because I was given, just while I was doing this, I met a actress, and she recommended a book to me just because she said, you know, she was like, you should get into acting. And so she recommended this book to me, and I went head on and started reading the book. And it has helped me with just different things as far as trying to do the voices for these characters and building these characters out and stuff like that, just learning how to do that. So, you know, Lady Peace, Sasha will probably tell you I do a lot of different stuff. And
yes,
so
he does.
And so what ends up happening is I get these ideas and they come in my head, and I just start moving.
Okay.
And the reason why is because when I was younger, I didn't do that. I didn't move as quick as I move now. I would sit on things. A lot of things that I probably should have done when I was younger, I just didn't get done for multiple reasons. Sometimes it was because I was, you know, raising my son and different stuff like that, and just couldn't find the time to do it. So now, you know, when I get an idea, I'm like, you know what, let me go on and do it. So I'm working on that. I'm working on Simply Acquired, still working on a fiction novel that I started writing. I'm about 4 or 5 chapters into that right now. So hopefully my goal is to try to be done with that by the end of the year. And hopefully my goal as far as the Simply Required is to try to get at least the first episode done here in the next couple months. This is a process. I did not realize when I took it on. I just came up with this idea, and I was like, ooh, and I start building these characters. And then I put this out, and I put a little intro to the out, you know, not to the album, but intro to the I put a little intro to the show out and everything, and now I'm like I'm stuck because I'm like, ooh, I'm lost. so I'm learning different things, and I'm learning how to get these voices done, and learning how to get the animation done and stuff like that. So it's been a little process. Also, album is still on Spotify, Time and Attention. If you need anything with real estate, you can contact me at Randy R. Graham on IG. Also, you can give me a call at 404-438-7113 at any time. And that's it. I really do appreciate you coming on, Lady P. I when I meet people and I feel like they have a story to tell, I don't feel like I felt like you sent me the thing, and I was like, you know what? I think she would be a good guest to be on the show. I think she has a story to tell. I just felt like you did, and you did. So that was a great thing.
Great guest.
You definitely surprised me because I didn't know about the occupational side, psychology side. So I learned something today, and I thank you for that. Thank you for coming on. Again, this is Wealthy Thoughts. We out. We'll see you next time.